Better?
It sounds like a ticking noise. Yeah, whatever that was, like a metronome was going off in the background.
That's probably my air conditioner.
Yep.
AC, so it's a
Yeah. No, it's even worse now.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, it's worse, way worse.
Oh, fucking A, dude. I don't even know what to do.
Turn your AC off.
I just did.
Oh. You on your fake AirPods? Oh, I hear the music.
Better?
Yeah, it's better.
And we are live, episode 2 of Squatting in the Curling in the Squat Rack. We have our mainstay so far, Mr. Chad Vandal, and we got a special guest, Bran, the Beast of the Northeast. Crap.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. It is good to be back. We kind of had a hiccup with what, Friday? Did we say Friday was going to be our normal day? But hey, look, life gets in the way, so we're here now.
Yeah, I had to work. That's I knew I should. The way my work works is I can like everybody in my position has to be forced for 12 hours before you can be forced for 24. and we're getting that feedback again.
Fix your AC, Bran. There we go.
And
We're good.
I should have worked Tuesday because it was my short week, but I rolled the dice, and of course they ended up needing people, and I was like, no, so I had to work. I don't like taking points if I don't have to.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, we say all the time that, life is, like, real life comes first. I mean, like, we can't spend all of our time on the internet. We can't spend all of our time in, group chats and all that. I mean, it's fun, right? It's a good break from things. But, I mean, look, if you're not out there, making life gains, then what are you even doing? Like, you're clearly not a serious person if all you do is spend your time on the internet.
Right. Need the balance.
Yeah, there's got to be a balance. Speaking of balance, turn your air conditioning off. Balance some heat in your life.
I think it's your.
Bro. I don't know what this is. It's my mic. I don't know.
Yeah, it's your feedback. You need to like hold your microphone a certain way. Handstand.
Yeah. Adjust your tinfoil hat, please, sir. Whoa, all right, that's better. I don't know what you did.
Hold it right there.
It's my headset.
Oh, you just throw that into the sun.
Don't move. All right, so today's topic is about keeping gains. We had a few injuries. We had one surgery, and it was, while those things happen, they're probably going to happen. You're pushing your body to extremes. You're actually forcing it to adapt, and sometimes the ligaments and stuff don't want to agree with it. One guy had I don't want to say his name. He might be in here, but he was probably maybe not. I think he might be a Euro guy if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. But he dropped a plate on his foot, and now he basically can't use his legs. I'm pretty sure it was a fracture in the metatarsal. So
that's a big ouch.
Yeah. So we were talking about how we should just get his bench up to 500 pounds and.
Look, no, I mean there's a guy. I've seen him on other social media platforms that aren't Twitter. He injured his hamstring, something fierce. I think he was deadlifting or something like that. I mean, like these injuries, they happen, right? I tweaked my shoulder really, really bad a couple months ago, and basically all I did was squat for weeks because anything involving, my rotator cuff was just outside of I couldn't do a single push-up. It hurt. I mean, I could do it, but I wanted to physically cry and throw up. It hurt so bad. So, you take some time off. I did a lot of rehab and bands, and I mean, today I think I had 30 pounds over my head, and I mean, I could still feel it being a little bit tight. So you have to I think this comes with some experience and knowing your body, and understanding the alternate exercises that you can do. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have
Pace yourself.
Marcus. He had surgery.
Yeah,
And
I have to say he was out of commission for at least a couple weeks now, but
in his gut. I mean, that's
yeah,
that ties to everything.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of all of these injuries are connected to each other. It's this weird thing about the human body that you tweak your back. Guess what? Things are just not going to work right. You tweak your, he had abdominal surgery. Guess what? Literally every lift that exists involves bracing your core. So there's going to be a learning curve coming back from that.
Yeah, it's you got to be able to rehab it too. You can't just think that it's going to get better by itself. And if it got hurt for, not a surgery type thing or dropping something on your foot, but if you hurt something, odds are it's not it's from something. It's not usually just because.
Yeah.
So, like myself, I had a little deal with the inside of my leg. I thought it was my groin while I was squatting, but as days passed, I'm leaning more towards it being flexibility in my ankles, causing tightness and straining upstream. So instead of working on my hamstrings and working on the groin, trying to get it loose, I started working on the ankles, and lo and behold, the groin and the hamstring got loose. So
Yeah.
so it's you kind of have to see where the bottom of it is, and like peel back those layers. Start to work things. A lot of people have problems with their elbows, and it's almost never their elbow. It's usually their shoulder or their wrist that's actually the problem. So yeah, you got to kind of figure it out.
One little injury can fuck everything up.
Oh yeah. No, it's
And it's
like I said, it's all connected. It's all connected, and understanding your body, and understanding the difference between being hurt and being injured, and then just being like, hey, guess what? Some of the stuff that we're going to do is going to be uncomfortable, and that's part of like pushing yourself. But understand, and you guess what? Sometimes this is going to be a controversial. Hurt yourself a little bit, like you got to find out what that limit is. Now, like I said, there's a difference between hurting yourself and injuring yourself. You can squat until you fail, and guess what? You're going to drop the bar. You're going to pick it up. You might make a loud noise in the gym. So what? Who cares? It's the gym. But we talked about this a long time ago on the old show about understanding how to fail properly.
Yeah, I recently hit a 275 bench PR, and I decided, I says, I'll just go straight to 300. And it went straight down. There was no comeback up, but I had safeties. It was I set it up to where if I did fail, it would be all right. I wouldn't be sitting there having to do the dump of shame or nut roll or whatever. I mean, I avoided those things by setting the safeties up. I'm lucky enough to have a decent gym to where my bench has safeties, but
none of unless I start benching in the squat rack, which I get enough flack for curling in the squat rack. I'm not going to have safeties, so it's one of those like you just grab a dude and you're like, hey, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna need you to spot me. I mean it's all part of that community that we're trying to build anyway. So like grab the right guy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And then another thing that happens a lot is summertime. It's summertime. People are going on vacations. What do you guys do during the summer? Do you guys actually find a gym? Do you or during vacation? Do you guys find a gym? Do you guys just do plyo work? Do you guys kind of just put it as a wash? I
kind of don't do anything, to be honest. Well, see, that's why you got to train going up to the vacation. You got to get in peak state, so you can cruise for about 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's kind of the way
I would agree that depending on how the vacation goes, and what kind of vacation it is, you could take a couple days off, and it's not. I mean, especially if you maintain any semblance of an okay diet. You're going to be fine. You're not going to lose too many gains if you take a week off to go on vacation. You might feel a little antsy. Like I know, like the people that know me in person, basically once I start getting to about 3 days, I start getting a little weird and grumpy, a little moody. And, hey, guess what? It's time to go hit the gym. And, again, depending on what kind of a vacation it is, you just go and you find something. I mean, you can always find a Gold's or an Anytime or, an LA Fitness. If you're in a hotel, sometimes hotels have gyms. They're usually absolute garbage.
Yeah.
But, you make do. Or you know what? You just go to the beach and you pick up people. I think that's probably what you're doing. That's Bran. Come on, you're squatting chicks out there.
Yeah, man. You put one chick on each shoulder and you just kind of walk around. Arnold used to do it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
That's what Bradley Martin's getting pretty famous for, is doing all sorts of weird squats, squats on a hoverboard and with girls on his shoulders and stuff. Yeah, it's old, but what are your views on Anytime Fitness? Actually, the Red's asking a question. We'll go ahead and just hop into it real quick. There's the Anytime Fitness where I am located isn't a bad one. I mean, they're crazy about trying to get you to train. They want that money, that training money.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, any one of these big gyms, all they're going to want to do is sell you their personal training services. That is where a gym makes money. So I've actually looked into, what does it actually cost to own and operate a gym, right? Your basic overhead cost is it's basically enough to keep the lights on. Once you buy in and you buy all your equipment and stuff like that, it's relatively inexpensive to keep the doors open and the lights on. But if you want to make a profit off of a gym, you have to sell all these goofy things like personal training or your dance mom fitness class.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean that's where gyms make their money, and that's where a personal trainer. I mean, like a personal trainer that's sitting at the desk, playing Words with Friends or whatever. If he's sitting there, he ain't making money. So of course they're gonna. And you know what? Why shouldn't they try and sell you their services? The average person has no clue what they're doing at all. So, I'd like to think that our friends and family have the agency to go on YouTube or other places and learn what to do.
What are your thoughts, Bran? You like Anytime Fitness?
I go to a real gym, man. I go to a club, a bodybuilder's gym, bro.
Yeah, there's the one thing. Anytime Fitness just had they just got in trouble because one of because it's a what is it, franchise? It's a franchise thing. One of the franchises sent out an email saying to grab your fat, and understand this is because you're not doing what you're supposed to.
I love it. That sounds great.
Yeah, they got a lot of flack from that. I mean, and then you got places like that Planet Fitness where if they would have all their members come in at one time, there would be no room. Like you wouldn't even be able to lift.
Yeah.
There's.
Well, I don't think any lifting actually occurs at that place. But no, I mean it's. I think I've been on record about being pro fat shaming, so I'm okay with that. I would actually figure out what gym that was and then send them some sort of. It's pretty boomer tier, but you send them a little comment saying, "Hey, keep it up. I support this." But yeah. But I mean, as far as my thoughts on Anytime Fitness or any of these big box type gyms. If you're on vacation somewhere, you're traveling, and you can walk in there and convince them to give you a free day pass, which you can almost always do, use it. You know what I'm saying? Just go and try different places. So.
Yeah, pay the day fee and just go in.
Yeah, you got some consistency. Yeah.
But. I mean, it's a day pass is usually in most places you're anywhere from $5 to $10. You can usually talk them into giving you at least one free day pass. So
there's the newest member. Well, might be the newest. There's another guy that showed up, Davy Crockett, Triple D. Davy Crockett. I don't know if he's old or if he's new, but Jolly Roger. Remember last week he decided to get a gym. He's been hitting it, man. He's been posting up on the threads. I think he got 4 days last week.
All right, good.
So I'm
still not convinced that I should ever come back to Twitter. It's just It's just cursed. There's just no redeeming factor in that whatsoever.
No,
Every
it's
now,
fun. It's getting fun again, man.
I'm not.
Let's do it. Come on. Let's do it.
I don't know.
It's a good
I
time,
don't
man.
know.
There's goods and bads to it for sure.
Just hang out and talk to your boys.
Yeah, you
That's what I've
cannot
been
get
doing.
involved in drama. It is possible, believe it or not.
I don't know. Maybe.
You don't have to attack Runner's World every time they put out a new post. You can just let it go.
We're reviving the Luftwaffe, man. We got to revive it.
Good. No, and honestly, it's one of those things that like I continue to be impressed. Every now and then when because I mean I don't log in, I don't have an account, so but I will go, on the browser site, and I'll search for certain tags and certain people, and I'm glad to see that people are still out there keeping it alive. So it's wild. I mean, I'm gonna see our buddy Tex here real soon, and it's something that he and I have kind of talked about privately about how proud we are that the group is still going, and doing the whole thing. So and it's one of those. You're right though. You're talking about the seasons changing and stuff like that. There's an ebb and flow, with online and in real life, and I don't think the time is right for me to come back now. I don't know. I'm in such a good place without Twitter. It's amazing. So, but no, we can get back to going every day, laughing fella. That's good. So
That
buys and tries tomorrow. It's Monday, Jolly Roger. Why aren't you doing chest on Monday?
International Chest Day.
Man, what's wrong with you? This
You
is
can
why
hit
you're not
chest on
making
tries.
gains.
Make sure to do some dumbbell presses or something. Get those
No.
tries fried up.
It's good for you. It's healthy. So, but no. So, like back to our original topic about hey, it's summertime. Bran's not doing anything. He's too busy with the ladies. That's fine. I have brought. Look. I mean, you got to settle down eventually, man. But no, so summertime in my mind, it's everybody's always talking about, okay, well, you got to bulk in the wintertime and cut in the spring, and then you look shredded for the beach, right? Obviously, right? We want to look our best. It's one of the best motivating factors, to get our young men out there looking their best. Hopefully, find a nice lady and settle down. So. Yeah, I'm all for it, but I think training should change in the summertime or with the seasons. I know I'm doing a lot more cardio. I know a couple of the other guys are doing more cardio. You got to keep the body fat low, and a big part of that's your diet too. So, you can go on vacation, and it's really easy to be like, oh, hang on, I'm visiting grandma. Let me eat all of the things, right? Or, if we have summertime birthdays, and you get the cake and the special birthday breakfast and things like that. It's really easy to go out of control, and you got to find a balance, like Bran said.
Yeah, that's you want to be.
The summer.
You're working so hard the whole time. 1 or 2 weeks shouldn't ruin your progress. If it does, that means you were probably doing something wrong.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the summer. You see, you're going on vacation, you're having drinks, you're going to barbecues all the time.
Well, you don't have to have drinks.
Well, but it's come on.
Drink your soda pops.
I'm just telling you, man. You go have a water. You gotta stay hydrated. It's hot in the summer.
I know. You gotta cool, tone it down a little bit. Don't go out all the time. Be smart. Eat like a bodybuilder. You gotta learn how to eat like a bodybuilder.
Well, that and the other thing. Let's while we're on the topic of summertime barbecues and booze, though, let's talk about how puffy and gross you get the next morning.
Yeah,
it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, Yeah,
So-
you're like post physique. You're like, oh man, I can't post physique right now.
I can't post right now. I'm all puffy. It's not good.
You should still do a side bicep. Even a puffy bicep. As long as you're not looking like that Russian synthol kid, you'll be all right.
Oh, Jesus Christ, don't do that. That's bad news bears. See? Look, this guy's seeing progress. Strawberry shortcake, no whipped cream. Oh, God, I love strawberries, though.
You can do, and if you know that you are going to be eating something, you have a plethora of knowledge to know how many calories that is. If you're that worried about it, you can actually decide, okay, I'm going to have to do, and usually if you put it into those terms, it might help you out, because you might not eat it if you understand, I got to run another mile, because if I eat this, I got to, do my Zumba class extra hard. And
it's understanding the amount of effort that it costs you to, and if you're going to drink beers, there are many options out there that are low calorie type beers. Let's have. So.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could do light beer. I guess.
I'm just saying. I'm not anti-booze, but at the same time, I understand at my age what the toll is on my body and how it's going to affect my training for days, not just the next day, but for days. There used to be a time where I could drink till 3 o'clock in the morning and get up at 6 and do it. Have no problems.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And there's a lot of things where I used to be able to be wild and be able to, but now you lose. I only train 3 days a week, so if I lose one training day, that's two-thirds of my volume.
Now, I'm telling you, I'm on about a 3 to 4 day split right now, just because work has been insane. I'm actually going on vacation so that I can hit the gym more regularly. If that makes that makes no sense. No, I'm taking days off from work so that I can with more regularity. It's just what am I gonna do? I gotta hit the gym. I'm starting to get a little weird. My treadmill is starting to talk to me in my sleep.
I'm going to the beach, so I think I'm going to try to fight Poseidon.
There you go.
See if I can. What was that Roman? That one Roman? I think it was Caligula. He wanted to fight Poseidon, and he made his troops stab the water.
The beach is good though. You get a little extra vitamin D in your life. I'll tell you what though, there's nothing better in my mind for your calves than walking in the sand. So it's good.
Great. Walk along the beach. Walk up and down the beach.
Yeah.
Or be like Rocky and run down it, right? Get that head bob going.
Even better.
Yeah, that was a great. Let's see what else. So, what do you guys think about whenever somebody hurts their knees or hurts an ankle? Do you think they should just completely stop messing with it at all, or should they just do? Yeah, I mean, I guess or should they try to just go way light, or? I mean, what are your guys' opinions on whenever you? Let's use elbows as a good example. Elbow injuries are common. Tennis elbow or the other. What's the other one? Golf elbow. Tennis elbows on the inside or on the outside. Golf elbows on the inside, I think.
I don't know how to play golf. All right, so we'll start with the knees because that's a fairly common excuse where it's oh, my knees hurt, I can't squat. Well, your knees probably hurt because you're fat and you're not squatting. But no, I mean, first and foremost, if you have a legitimate injury, talk to your doctor. Don't do something that's going to legitimately hurt you. So if you have a medical condition that prevents you from bending your knees properly or, whatever. First things first, talk to a doctor. Make sure you're not like causing permanent damage to yourself. But I mean, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of different ways that you can train. You can train lighter. You can do body weight stuff. Which I guess counts as lighter. Some of these big boys out there, it might not be. But there's the exercise bands that you can use. Cables, there's all kinds of different things you can do with cables. I mean, you just scroll through Twitter and Instagram and you're going to find, 30 different chicks out there with 30 different ways to train their legs without actually squatting. Try it.
Do the just do the extension, the seated
yeah, that's a good one. So
and the hamstring curl, just do those on the machine. Just do it. You don't need to squat. Yeah. If you're hurt, your ankle's fucked, you can't squat, do that the quad extension.
Mm-hmm. And hit that with the negative too. It's something that I saw. I don't remember if it might have been Mike O'Hearn or who's the other guy?
Platts is big. Platts is big on the extensions with the negative.
Yeah. Do the extensions with negative too, and especially if you've got a buddy that's training with you that could basically get it out to that full extension and then like spot you on the negative side. Huge for the your quads right there, the front of your legs. It's gonna be. You're gonna like the way you look.
Men's Warehouse. So yeah, you can. I'm a big fan of bands just on daily. Like I myself do pull aparts, and at least daily I do pull aparts. I really think that helps my V-tapa. Just keeping your shoulder, because we live in a society now where everything we do is hunched over. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah. I read some articles that like teenagers are getting like bone spurs because all they do is look down at their phones.
Yeah, on the bottom of their ears or the bottom of their jaws.
Yeah, it's like they're like, it looks like little devil horns. It's just yeah. What's the quote from Uncle Teddy? It's like the Industrial Revolution, something like that. Yeah. We are fucking up things that cannot easily be unfucked.
That Wall-E is becoming more and more, a real thing. That cartoon Wall-E, where they just go around on the little hoverboards and shit.
Yeah. These people need to get your life together. Fat people, awful.
Ripping phone books. If you can rip one phone book, that's pretty impressive.
Good. So old Red Feather talking about exercising the pool is fantastic. I wanna emphasize. I mean, so swimming is one of those things that like you're doing cardio. It's almost a full body exercise. That you don't realize how much cardio you're doing. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I used to swim a lot back in the old high school days. And it was the weirdest thing in the world to be like swimming and sweating. It's like, how am I sweating? I'm covered in water, but you're sweating, and it's bizarre. And I know a lot of folks that use pool therapy as injury recovery or even just like a preventative maintenance kind of thing. Hit the pool once or twice a week and just kind of, there's no impact at all. It can be tough if you've got arthritis, like in your ankles or your feet or even some in your hands. It can be a little bit of a challenge, but the cool thing about that is that you're breaking up the calcium that's in your joints, and it'll actually, yes, it might be uncomfortable, but it'll actually prevent some of your arthritis problems doing that no impact pool work. So for our older friends, hit the pool. So that's good.
My boy, he just finished a swim class. He's going to be 6, and he finished his swim class. He's figured out how to swim okay. I wouldn't consider him a great swimmer or anything. He wasn't top of his class. But he wants to dive off the diving board.
Heck yeah.
He's already jumped off it a couple times, but he tried diving off it the first time. And I tell you, I heard it was such a smack that I almost cried for him. Gets out and he's like, okay, I want to do it again. I'm like, okay, you really got to focus on trying to do a handstand. You know, think to yourself you're trying to do a handstand onto the water. You know, and again, and the second time he wouldn't even take his head out of the water as he swam to the edge because he was crying. It was comical, but you couldn't feel your little heart. You know, I felt my heart break a little. It's like, man, I just cannot believe. I was like, I tried telling him and it didn't work. You know, maybe I'm just a horrible teacher. Told him after that, I was like, learn how to dive off the side of the pool before you just go diving off the diving board, because we got to figure out your mechanics on this stuff before you can start diving off the swim. And then, of course, you know, I'm doing as much as I can to try to show him how to do it. But, yeah, after 2 good belly smacks, we've decided diving off the diving board is not a good idea. He can jump off it, do whatever he wants. He'll come up, he's like, I'm going to spin kick. And he'll do a little spin kick.
He's working on those ninja skills.
He's working on his ninja skills. That's exactly right.
Don't risk it. Like, don't be an idiot and, like, do something stupid you can hurt yourself.
Boxing is one thing I don't get.
In the pool?
Yeah, in the pool. Man, you can fuck yourself up in the pool.
Bran, do you know how to swim?
Diving around. Of course, bro. I live in the ocean, bro.
Yeah. I'm just wondering. I mean,
I swim with the sharks, man.
What do you guys think of that game, Shark and Minnows? I think that's probably the greatest pool game ever.
Sharks and Minnows. What's the other one? Marco Polo. You know, you get a good chicken fight going with your girl on your shoulders. It's going to be great.
Hey, listen. This goes for lifting, too.
So.
This goes for lifting, too. Like, don't be an idiot and fuck yourself up.
No, and I mean, I agree. I still think that you should challenge yourself, though.
Yeah, sure. But I'm saying, like, don't be an idiot and be like, look what I can do. And, like, try to lift way more weight and end up crushing your ankle or you know, fucking your back up, you know, like Ronnie Coleman did. You know, you don't need to lift that much weight. You don't.
Larry Wills just tore a bicep.
Yeah, dude.
And he just did it by doing the freaking stones. Like, he just got done tumbling over, like, I want to say 860-pound deadlift. He passed out while he was deadlifting. And he freaking did a front flip over the bar. Then, a week later, he's just messing around with Atlas stones, not even anything, like, crazy for him. And he straight tore his bicep. I mean, it didn't detach, but you could see it. I mean, it's tore, and he even posted about it and everything. And that guy, you kind of wondered when something was going to happen, because he was doing so much crazy shit, you know, like a 500-pound seated press and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, at some point, these PRs are just not going to keep coming. Something's going to happen. Sure enough, bicep tear on something easy, not even something crazy for him.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of these guys are doing stuff. They're doing more and more goofy things. You know, they're doing it for the gram. You know, they are constantly trying to impress for the likes and the follows, and you know, they're getting money off of it, right? They're getting paid by, you know, we'll use Instagram as an example, right? Because it's where, I mean, people send me links all the time. And, you know, like, okay, cool. It's neat to see somebody deadlift from a hoverboard. Okay, I'm impressed, right? Oh, you lit a 315 barbell on fire, and now you're doing bench press. Neat. You know, or hey, we're gonna slam a 30 rack, and then we're gonna go train while we're hammered. You know, it's funny, right? It's hilarious to watch, but you also have to think about, you know, like, there's kids that are watching this and they're thinking, I can do that. Next thing you know, there's some idiot child who's going to light something on fire in the gym, you know, and record it for Snapchats, and he's going to end up hurting himself. So, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy watching it, but I'm also into my 30s, and I understand that, you know, like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to get your paycheck, but at the same time, like, you know, it's kind of like there's a certain amount of responsibility that I think some people just lack. So
I kind of equate the Insta things with porn stars. You ever notice that the porn stars don't go straight into taking it in the ass, or you know what I mean? I mean, it's not. It's usually, they're the cute little teenager, and then next thing you know, they're getting tripled.
Wow.
So they got to just
this has really got out of hand.
increase the I don't know. Yeah, increase it. They got to go further and further each time.
Yeah.
Same with these.
That's with Darwinism. Jesus, how did we go from summertime lifting to triple teamed anal? That's wild. Welcome to the internet. So.
Yeah. So the beach. The big thing about the beach is not, in my opinion, not drinking too much, because you are out in the sun. You can get the heat stroke.
Severely dehydrated. All those hot weather injuries, man. You gotta watch out for that. So I'm telling you guys, just drink more water. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel better about life. Your skin's gonna look better. You're gonna feel better. It's just I don't know. I'm about like two conversations away from just coming out as like hardcore anti-booze. So, I listen to Summertime. Yeah,
Well,
all right.
yeah,
What
it's
else
a
we
Gaines
got?
goblin. It's a Gaines goblin.
It really is though, and it's also a big time depressant. I mean, Tex and I did a whole lifting and recovery series about addiction and recovery series. Go back. There's got to be somewhere. They're out there on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, you can find them fairly easy.
Listen to some of those people's stories about alcohol. I mean, it's not. It's there's so many better things to do with your time and your life. Especially if Bran and I have been pretty honest about and being enhanced, I think is a terminology we can use.
Say it again.
But so we're talking about being enhanced, and sometimes that can be a little tough on the old liver. So booze and steroids, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
So here's Jacob is asking a pretty funny question. What's your opinion on post and lift in progress?
Do it all the time.
Yeah, that's the thread.
That's how we got started. It was Gaines posting way back in the day, back in the early 2015s. That's what this whole thing was about. It's like, hey, keep yourself honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that say they can squat a bunch or do something else, but
Yep.
they'll talk about how you need to lift this way, lift that way whenever you post a lift, and then it's like, well, post physique.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, oh, all right, cool. You're gonna claim a 315 bench. All right, sweet. Let's see it.
For reps, of course, always.
Yeah. Oh.
Always for reps.
And I mean that's one of those things that like I've been real. Let's go back in time to yesteryear, when I learned how to front squat all over again, and I was like posting front squat with just a bar, and people are like, "What are you doing, man?" I was like, "I'm doing this for real. I'm learning how to do it properly because I was messing myself up." And like when you get called out, and you're like, "Oh, well, no, I mean, I said I could lift 315, but I get a little camera shy, so I don't do it."
We actually had a guy fall out. He was, I can't remember, gosh dang, what was his name? Because every time, he was always talking about all my lifts, which cracked me up. I hit a 405 and posted it, hit a 405 on deadlift, posted it, and I was like, man, I failed the 430. I tried to hit 430. And he's like, oh, you should have just waited 2 minutes and then went for 445. It's like, what the hell are you even talking about? I was like, so then I posted a front squat thing, and he's like, oh, I can front squat 265, and everybody hopped on that. I mean, everybody was like, well, post it, and he's like, well, I kind of just changed the way I'm training. I'm doing a lot of Muay Thai now. I'm not
of
doing
course,
much front
of
squats.
course.
I think we ran him off the thread because, it's one thing. That's what the thread is about, acceptance and, helping each other out. But if you're just going to bullshit.
Yeah, no. And that's I'm glad to see that hasn't changed, or glad to hear that hasn't changed, because it's been a long time since I've gone and looked at one of the threads. But, no, the idea of like, hey, if you're going to talk about it, you better be about it. Like if you're going to claim a PR, you better have some evidence, son, or nobody cares. I mean, I can tell you all day long that I can deadlift 405 for reps, but until I present some kind of video evidence, it ain't happen. You know what? I may as well just be lying. So.
Bran, he's getting all those volume PRs. I want to say he does like 40 sets per body part.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Here's the
really.
thing. That's how you don't get hurt, man.
I like it.
High volume.
I've thought about
low weight, high volume is it's great.
Look, you look at Rich. Rich Piano.
Love that,
doing
man. Rest in
baby
peace.
weight, a baby weight, go bam, 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 bam. The guy's fucking massive, bro.
Well, he was also,
Yeah.
he had been doing this for like 20 years.
Look, you do the baby weight, you bang it out until it fucking hurts.
Oh yeah,
and you're good. That you don't pick up a fucking massive fucking.
As long as you have progressive overload involved in it, you're going to be all right. If 10 weeks from now you're still curling 25 for 15 reps, it's not getting any better, But if you're curling 25 now you're curling it for 17 reps, well, you've progressively overloaded, which is going to cause an adaptation. I mean, it's just simple science, It's the simple science of gaining muscle.
No.
So yeah, I've actually thought about. Well, I am doing this starting Monday. I'm switching to more volume. I'm not doing German volume. I'm calling it Prussian volume training because the Prussians are always more efficient. So I'm doing 5x10s instead of 10x10s because I just think 10x10 is just too much.
It hurts so good though.
So I'm gonna try the 5x10. And if I get good at that, at a weight that I feel respectable, then I'm just going to add another set of 10. And that's how I'm going to progressive overload. I'm not going to sit there and try to bust out as max at 10 reps. Just keep going that way. Add by volume, not by, get the overload by volume, not necessarily by weight. Which is another, as long as you're progressively overloading and gaining, then you're going to gain.
Yeah, and it's good. The pumps are great, especially we're just keeping on the summertime track. Pumps are great. You're going to get all veiny. It's you're going to burn a little bit more fat. Oh man, I mean we're not full team dick skin out here, but at the same time, you want a good bicep vein. When you're walking down the beach. Yeah, I mean it's. Especially for the young guys, you want that pelvic V going on. It's good.
Gotta show off the dick root.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Oh man.
I just hit the 1,000-pound club, so that's kind of why I'm going to, just because I think I've told you guys, my goal is to get to the 200-pound mark as far as weight goes.
Yeah,
so,
you gotta eat more food.
Yeah, and I'm switching more to. I got my strength goals done, so now I'm gonna hit the volume and just do it that way.
Yeah. Hit mad volume. Take a weight gainer shake. Creatine.
I'm not big on that. I tried that creatine. It gave me headaches, man. For a long. I did creatine for about a month, and I had a headache for about a month.
You gotta dose yourself with supplements. Dose. You got to take fish oil. You got to take. There's another thing. We're talking about injuries and shit. You got to take a lot of shit, bro. If you're lifting heavy, you have to take stuff for your joints. You have to. There's no exception.
You want to? You preach about overdosing on fish oil. What do you think about that krill oil? Do you like it?
Krill oil. That's my thing. Krill oil is the best thing you could take.
And you wanna overdose on that too?
Well, you don't have to. That's the thing. You don't have to overdose on fish oil if you're taking regular krill oil. You could take 1 krill oil a day, and that's it. You're good.
Okay, so you're saying you overdose on the fish oil to get to the krill oil level.
Well, see, I take krill oil and fish oil.
You take them both?
Yeah, I take regular fish oil and I take krill oil, and that's a ton of omega-3. The krill is so powerful, you only need 1 pill a day, and that goes into your joints and it's pulling out that inflammation, the inflammatory compounds that build up in your joints from heavy lifting through wear and tear. It's pulling out that reactive compound from your joints. That's what krill does. It's very highly absorbable. It gets in there and it hits all that inflammation and shit, and it gets rid of it. And the fish oil doesn't absorb that well, so it can't get in as good as krill does and do all that.
Nice.
So you want good joints, you want mobility, you want like perfect joints. Seriously, get on the krill, 1,000 milligrams a day minimum.
And Red Feather says, what's the difference between krill oil, regular fish oil, and krill oil? I think I know, but you're more versed on this topic, so...
Well, krill oil is a completely different form of omega-3. Your body absorbs it and recognizes it completely differently than fish oil. It's a phospholipid fatty acid, and so it's more easily recognizable and bioavailable for the body. Fish oil is in a triglyceride form. It's just a regular fat. Your body's got to digest it and process it like a regular fat. Phospholipid, it goes right in there. Instant absorption. Full membrane permeability. Right into the joint membrane, right into your brain, right into your heart. Pulls out all that bullshit.
Nice. That was awesome. That was a very good way to put it.
Right. So get on the krill. I've been taking this shit for years. No problem, my joints, nothing. I don't take glucosamine. That shit doesn't really do anything. I mean, yeah, you can take it.
You're gonna upset BAP.
BAP, bro, get on my level, all right?
I don't even know what that stuff is. Is that the amino acid?
Yeah, no, I'm a firm believer that like the whole, and please, Bran, correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole BCAAs is just a way to sell you more supplements and take your money. I mean, if you're taking the right vitamins already and you're eating enough protein, you don't need all these fancy BCAA drinks.
Not necessarily, but I was about to address the BCAA question.
Let's answer the BCAA question, please, sir.
Here it is.
The BCAA. Okay, we're on the topic of keeping your gains during your downtime, right? So one of the things you can do is drink BCAAs all day. Be one of those douchebags with the gallon of water, the blue gallon, drinking the fucking amino acids all day. Okay, what that does is it keeps your muscles fueled up. It keeps the muscles full of the branched chain amino acids that it needs. So your body isn't metabolizing your muscle. You're staying in a catabolic state. You're not losing any muscle if you have a constant supply of BCAAs going. So it's very important if you're cutting, drink BCAAs all day.
So that's a good way to keep the gains. Think
of BCAAs as fuel for the muscle.
So if you're not lifting as much, that might be
replenishing the muscle.
What if you're just eating? Like small meals throughout the day?
But we're talking about vacation.
How much leucine are you getting? How much leucine are you getting? You're not getting enough leucine in food.
That doesn't sound like a real thing.
We're talking about vacations, though, Chad. I understand what you're saying on a regular,
well, you know what
leucine
is? Leucine is the most anabolic amino acid. You need a ton of it. If you take a lot of leucine, you're constantly in an anabolic zone.
Okay, all right.
If I have a daughter, I'm going to name her Leucine.
No, so is that something that I can I can go get it in a pill, or is it only in like the the Salvation Extends type BCAA formulas or whatever.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If you're going to go get leucine in the pill, you're going to be taking 6 to 8 pills, huge horse pills a day.
I mean, I'm already taking like 12.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you can go and get, like, Muscle Tech used to make an awesome leucine product, but you had to take 7, 8 pills, a day. Huge pills. But it works. If you're going to be a bodybuilder, this is what you got to do. You got to take a shitload of pills all the time. This is how it works, man. This is how the pros used to do it. Jay Cutler, Lance Warren.
That's the guy I was trying to think of earlier, Jay Cutler. Anyway,
these guys are down in pills fucking all day, bro.
Yeah.
Amino acids. That's another thing. You could take amino acids and pills, like between meals when your stomach is empty. Boom, smash some amino acids.
I don't have that problem. My stomach being empty.
I was about to say I can't remember the last time my stomach was empty.
Well, no, you should have an empty stomach. Listen, you got to think like a bodybuilder, eat like a bodybuilder. You're gonna have maybe a couple hours.
I'm eating like 9 meals a day right now.
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of science, Red Feather, that says that you can get 90% of the stuff you need by eating. The big thing is whenever the idea is to overdose it to get gains quicker, and most people are not 240, 250 pounds.
Hey.
So the idea, of muscle, will you say? So the idea of eating that much food to sustain that engine, to sustain that furnace, is just almost too much food. So supplements then become, especially you talk about Jay Cutler and these guys are over 300 pounds. They almost cannot eat that much food to sustain that type of body.
No.
So they have to, they have to eat supplements also. It's the way they have to stay. But yeah, if you're just talking about healthy, growing yourself at a healthy weight, like what I'm doing, I take a protein shake in the morning, and that's just and at the night I guess it would be. That's just because I wake up too late and don't want to make myself something for breakfast, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll down a shake on the way into the office. But then again, as soon as I get to the office, I also will eat something. I mean, I'm infamous for my pocket eggs. I'll carry on a plastic bag with some boiled eggs in it, and they're steamed now because I'm on Team Instapot.
The Instapot craze.
Oh, dude, it's not a craze; it's a lifestyle. But yeah,
walk around like a douchebag, dude. You got to be a douchebag with the Tupperware, chicken and rice.
I got Tupperware stacked up all over my desk these days.
Hard-boiled eggs.
I got a fridge in the office. It's over now. It's just stocked full of food.
You got the six pack bag.
Oh, those bags are they're so nice. But I'm telling you, you spill one thing inside those 6-pack bags, and they're impossible to clean. And then they start smelling like dead assholes. Like just, it's awful.
6-pack, yeah.
Oh, pocket jerky. Yeah, don't eat armadillos. They're cute, but don't even go near them. They're just vile creatures. But. So, no, I mean, 230 is a good weight. I love sitting at 230. I feel my best in the 230 to 240 range. I mean, I got up to 260, and I mean, I was fucking huge. And I was actually fairly lean still at 260, but I mean, like, it was impossible to, like, I would get winded walking up the stairs. It was awful. So.
Yeah, Jacob, if you're trying to gain weight, usually it's 400 to 500 calories over your maintenance.
Yeah,
will gain you a half a pound to a pound a week.
So I'm a firm believer in if you're gonna increase your calories, do it in stages. Don't go from eating 2,000 to 3,000 calories overnight. Like do it in small increments where you add one extra meal or, an extra shake. Because your body takes some time to get used to it. It's the same thing when you're starting to cut. You don't go from a 3,000 calorie diet to, a 2,000 calorie diet overnight. You got to step down. It's just, it's true. But drinking water, you keep your stomach full of water. Especially if, I'm a firm believer in intermittent fasting. Keep your stomach full of water, and you're gonna be able to kind of cheat your brain to thinking that there's something going on there.
I don't understand the intermittent fasting. I don't get it because it's been proven that like it's a weekly calorie thing. I don't understand how missing, but then again, I don't understand the eating a whole bunch of meals a bunch of times a day. I'm kind of in the middle to where I think it's all weekly calories. So like, I don't know. I get the idea of fasted lifting makes you feel like you're burning more calories, but I don't know if it really has any science behind it.
There's definitely science behind it. So,
Do you intermittent fast, Bran?
No, bro. Here's the thing about me. I don't follow the rules really. I only eat like twice a day. I don't do what I do. I eat like twice a day, and then I rely heavily on supplements. So I take a lot of protein powder, and I don't know, man.
You're on one extreme.
If I ate more, I'd probably be way bigger than I am.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem. I guess just I can't eat enough. I don't like to eat a whole lot. It's just
get bloated.
You get all bloated and shit. Well, here's another thing you should do if you're going to eat. If you're eating and you're trying to gain weight, you want to take digestive enzymes with all these meals.
Yep.
Because that's going to break down all your food really quick, and it's going to help you, process it and absorb all this shit, and you're not sitting there like a bloated stomach going like, ugh. You can't eat all the steak. You're going to eat all the steak, this red meat. Your body can't really break that down that easily. You got to you can take papaya enzyme, take something like that. It's going to break it all down. You're going to absorb it, and you're going to be able to eliminate it a lot easier.
There's I took a class on nutrition that was called Super Nutrition Academy, where they were really about like no supplements, and you wanted to basically the pick, pull, kill type thing. If you can pick it, pull it, or kill it, that's the idea. And they talk about eating in sections. Like you want to eat you with every meal, you want to drink a glass of lemon water prior to the meal, and then you want to eat the things that can digest the easiest first, and then the second the hardest to digest, and the third hardest to digest. And
what?
Yeah. Like you eat it in segments. You do not eat a bite of pork and then eat a bite of green beans, which they weren't big on. Yeah, no, you're supposed to eat all your green beans first. Or no, eat all your pork first. No, eat all your green beans first and then your pork.
This sounds like some serious some snake oil salesmanship going on right here.
It was very. They also believed in like the Instapot is a no in that.
What?
Yeah, you want to eat it raw. You want to eat all your stuff like you want to cook it as little as possible. They believe in like the idea of
I like the idea of like raw vegetables and stuff like that. Sure. But you gotta. But there's nothing better than like dipping your steak in some mashed potatoes and God.
Oh, it's very.
You take a bite of salad and then you take a bite of fried chicken and the chicken and the salad gets down to the stomach and the stomach's like, hey, what's going on? Fried chicken, you're not so welcome. But the salad's like, nah, the chicken's cool, he's with me. They come down there together and it's. No, I don't know about this anymore. This sounds fishy.
It's definitely it was one of those things where these guys, I don't want to say they were CrossFitters because they weren't, but it was one of those. It's like it's the purest, and a lot of it was, you know, eat it the way God made it was a lot of the, you know.
I mean, I'm all for raw. If you can have raw vegetables, that's great, right? You're going to get more, you're going to get more fiber. You're going to have to chew it more, which just means it's going to be more digested by the time it gets down to your stomach. I get that, like I love crunching on raw tomatoes, not crunching, but you know what I mean? Munching on raw tomatoes. You put a little salt on there. It's so good, right? But I mean, I grew up like going and getting peas out of my mom's garden and just eating peas, like just straight raw from the vine, right? But
yeah, it was pretty frou-frou by the end of it. It was things to where it's like, I try to tell people, especially whenever they start to talk about diet stuff, is that was like trying to get the last 0.5% out of your gains. If you're not doing everything else to get that 99.5%, what's the point of doing that extra 0.5%? Is kind of the way I equated it to. You got to have everything else on point. There's a lot of guys or a few guys that I know that have horrible nutrition, but they want to jump on the enhanced train, and it's like, dude, why don't you get your shit on point, get everything good, and then see what happens, and then see if it's worth, see if you get the gains you want without, skirting the system. Because a lot of the guys that started out on, being enhanced and stuff, they did everything they could first. They were legit bodybuilders before they got on steroids, and then to become like the top bodybuilders, that's what pushed them to get on steroids. So, I mean, that's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm going off on a tangent here. We do have another question, though.
Yes, I saw that.
What does your panel think of doing pyramids without changing the weights? It's about 65 reps. You can break it up however you want. Is that a good thing or no?
I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad to me. As long as at some point you're trying to get better at it, or do it, like if you did it in 5 sets before, do it in 4 sets the next time. You want to try to overload it somehow. You don't want to just stay doing that exact same thing forever.
Yeah, I mean, I do that with pull-ups. I'll start and do 10 pull-ups, right? And then, drop down, shake out the arms, do whatever I got to do, and then do 8, so 10, 8, 6, 4, and then just do, doubles until it's actually one of my favorite ways to burn out on when I get done with back day, or if I've had like a really heavy chest day, I'll do a lot of pull-ups afterwards. Just, I don't know, it feels right for me anyways. Kind of doing a little bit pull-ups, push-ups are another one. Where you can get down and if you can knock out 15 push-ups after you got done benching, you want to talk about a pump. But no, I mean, if you're doing dumbbells and you go to absolute failure with a 25-pound dumbbell, and then you put them down, you shake it out, you pick up that 25 or that 35 or whatever it is, right? And you just keep going, and you just force more and more blood into that muscle. It's I mean, there's nothing, you talk about a pump, there's nothing like it. So I'm all for it. I think doing pyramids with keeping the same weight, it's a different way to challenge yourself.
What's your thoughts on it, Bran?
Say it again on the pump.
Now, Rackus asked if doing pyramids without changing the weights. He says in total it's about 65 reps. You can break it up however you want.
Yeah, I mean, pyramids are always a good idea, no matter how you look at it.
Do you like to go up with your pyramids, or do you like to go down?
I don't do pyramids personally. Honestly, man, I can't even tell you what I do. I do what I want in there. I stick to the basics.
He's a savage.
No. Here's the thing. I do things like the old school bodybuilders did. That's it. All I do.
I mean, if you read the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, Arnold definitely talks a lot about pyramids.
I haven't read it.
You might want to check it out. I mean, you don't get much more old school.
I know a trainer who worked with Lee Priest, Flex Wheeler, Sean Ray.
Lee Priest did all the drop sets and the pyramids and all that kind of stuff.
I'm sure. I'm just saying. I just do what I feel like doing in the moment.
Just do you. You just gotta do what you do.
You know what? I'm probably a pretty bad bodybuilder, to be honest. Honestly.
So we got.
But I don't know. I mean, I could be better. I could be way better.
You gotta eat more food.
I gotta eat more. I gotta train better, smarter.
Can you imagine how big your arms would be? Dude,
my arms got huge, bro. Arm blaster.
I know, I've seen them. They're already probably 18s. Could you'd probably walk around with 20-inch arms if you clean up that nutrition a little bit.
Yeah, if I eat more, man.
Yeah.
I take a lot. I mean, and more protein powder. I don't even take enough protein powder. For fuck's sake. I should start doing that. What am I doing?
Yeah, just throw in the towel. You're not even. Just get it together. You need to go to rehab or something, there, Bran. So we got all kinds of new questions coming in. So bronchial radial injuries, left arm. No. So again, all right. We kind of talked about this earlier on. If it hurts and it's like a legitimate like a shooting and a throbbing type pain, there's a difference between like, oh, my muscles are sore because I challenged myself, right? That's when I would push myself, right? But if there is like a legitimate injury, like I have hurt myself, you got to switch it up, right? First things first, go talk to the doctor, right? I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose you over YouTube. But I've found that if I do barbell curls with a straight bar, it feels funky on my wrist, so I usually will use the easy bar. It's a little bit gentler, right? But yeah, if you have an injury that's causing you pain when you do the exercise, try and do an alternate injury. If barbell curls are hurting you, then go find one of the machines, right, and do a machine curl, because it's going to force you to have perfect form, right? It's not going to let you deviate because it's a machine. It's only got one trajectory, one path. Try tables, try the bands. There's probably, I could probably name off 5 or 6 different things that you could try. But I don't know what's right for you. I know what I do when I injure myself. And that's, I'm a big firm believer in the bands. I will sit there and I will pump with those bands. I will stretch with the bands. I'll do, prehab, rehab kind of stuff until I'll break a sweat doing band work. And then you have to kind of find that balance, like Bran talked about earlier. You can't lift heavy every single time, right? You gotta mix it up. No, don't lift heavy every single time. It's terrible.
Not even ever, man. I'm telling you.
Well,
okay, you don't go. You lift heavy, sure, but don't go crazy. You're like, look what I can do.
Yeah, you don't ever go past your.
You're not trying to max out every single time you're in the gym. No. So.
If it's, so in that area of your arm, that's like, it could be a wrist problem.
Yep.
It could be a shoulder problem. It's most likely not an elbow problem, but it could be. It could be that your elbow ligament has been tore up so bad. I would try adjusting your wrist, maybe putting, trying to do wrist bends or wrist flexibility stuff. Like Chad said, get a pair of bands and start to work with the bands. There's all sorts of, you can get on the internets and You can mess around with the rotator cuff, because rotator cuff can bother you all the way down. You can mess with just, it could be something in your trap bothering your shoulder, which bothers your elbow, which goes down into the muscle. I mean, you have to really try to figure out, like, try to start messing with the joints that are attached to the muscle that's bothering you, the actual joints, and see which one pulls on it the most. You know, if you mess around with your wrist and you notice that wrist is pulling on that spot, then I would really focus on trying to loosen up the wrist instead of just sitting there trying to loosen up that single spot. Because usually it's at a joint. It's hardly ever just the muscle is messed up, but it can happen. You know, I'm not, again, I don't know because I've not been around you or you know, I'm just saying what is acceptable for online talking, you know. But that's where I would go. And then what, the front squats?
Well, it's just getting back to old Jolly Roger talking about having some rotator cuff issues with his shoulder. I've dislocated my left shoulder so many times I can almost pop it out on my own, right? It's actually, I mean, who knows what my cartilage looks like in that one, right? And now that I've torn a muscle in my right shoulder, I really go easy on my shoulders. I do a lot of cable work now. It's really rare that I will.
Very good.
It's so easy for me to hurt my shoulders nowadays. I mean, I'm an old guy. I'm in my 30s. I've injured myself so many times on my shoulders. I'm probably overly cautious. But you know, my girl had a problem with one of her shoulders recently, and I put the safety squat bar on the rack, and I was like, all right, try this. And I mean, first of all, safety squats are a whole different beast. It's going to challenge you like you've never been challenged before. You're not going to be able to lift the amount of weight that you are used to lifting, but you're still squatting. And the other option is leg press. People give I give leg press a lot of flack. You know, I make fun of it quite a bit. But at the same time, it's a tool in your toolbox that you can try. You know, you can still train your legs without putting a lot of strain on your shoulders, on your traps, on your neck. You know, hit the leg press, hit the extensions, hit the curls. But yeah, I'm a firm believer in front squats. Like I said, I had to relearn how to do it. And once I did, it completely, I credit a lot of the size growth in my quads to front squats. So
It's, in my opinion, it's the more athletic. What's that, Bran?
I can never get that position. I don't even know how to do them. I can't. I tried.
Is it the rack that you can't get, or actually, you know, is it the rack position you can't get, or do you do the bodybuilder style, or?
I have to cross my arms in front of me. I can't. My biceps and my forearms are too big to get that, you know, like elbows out in front of you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's why like people are like, oh, all right, bullshit, Chad. Your arms aren't that big. No, I mean they're bigger than Bran's. But I'm just not flexible. I mean, I've seen people that have bigger arms than me that can do it, but
yeah, that's what I was about to say. You know, Ray Williams was bigger than you. He's an Olympic weightlifter.
No, I know it's one of my limiting factors is my flexibility and mobility. It's trash. You know, it's worse than Brand's diet. It's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've worked on flexibility. I really try to figure it out. A good resource is that Becoming a Supple Leopard by Dr. Kelly Starrett. It's a pretty good resource on helping your mobility, especially it shows you a bunch of different ways to achieve that, you know, achieve the flexibility instead of just one, you know, instead of saying, oh, just do this stretch. It'll show you like from anywhere from the, you know, myofascial release to that restriction where you put those bands on your legs and you just like tie it up so tight, it blood restriction therapy and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff in there.
I've seen people do that, and it's a little old school. It's a little weird. I don't know. It's one of those things. I've never done it, so I'm not going to speak on it. I've seen it, and it looks a little weird. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to speak semi-intelligently on it. Not that
I don't think it's
sort of intellectual.
I think it's okay, but I don't think you should be doing it all the time. I don't think it's something that you should rest upon. Kind of the same idea with having to, if you got to do a 20-minute warm-up as you get older, your warm-ups are going to get longer. But if you got to do, like with my ankles have gotten so tight, I almost had to spend 15 minutes just loosening them up every time I squatted. That's just not, it's not right. There's something I got to work on. Like I've decided, I was like, okay, that's why I'm doing this, the Prussian volume training. I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, now I need to mess with my ankles, my calves, and get them, because you shouldn't have to do that much to be getting in a position that you were born able to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
A squat is something that we're born able to do. You shouldn't have to spend that much time to be able to get into the position. Yoga, hot yoga, right? That's what Joe Rogan talks about all the time. Hot yoga.
That guy's a queer.
You're not a Rogan fan?
No. Not at all.
He doesn't bother me.
He smokes too much weed, and he's possibly a homosexual.
He does, and he's all about that DMT. That DMT is all.
DMT is it's so dangerous. I don't know. I'm just not a Rogan fan. He's funny sometimes, but like funny and like the way you would make fun of like a retarded person, kind of funny. Like after a certain point, I'm like, I don't know. I lump Rogan into the same category that I would lump Shapiro. Enough said.
He's a mainstream guy. That's going to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you don't need to listen to what he said. You don't.
I get, like the Shapiros and the Crowders of the world. I get I understand the product they're selling, right? But at the same time, I don't need to be a consumer of their product. I'm good. I don't need that in my life. Yeah, I'm good. I don't know. But
so you're telling me you don't have the 12 Rules of Life next to your bed, the Jordan Peterson book?
No, I mean I've read some Jordan Peterson. I feel like I'm familiar enough with Peterson. Past the clean your room, make your bed, and wash your penis. Yeah, no, that's, I don't know. It's funny because I've gone to like, I'm going to consume every bit of content out there in the world. Every now and then Rogan will talk about lifting or something like that. Usually involves some sort of chimpanzee or gorilla. I just don't like the guy. I don't think he's that interesting. So, yeah.
That's fair enough. I mean that's not what this is about. So we're good on that.
No, I don't know. But I don't know. Any kind of final thoughts as we kind of come to a natural close? It's about 10:30 here on the East Coast, and
yeah,
I'm an old man. I got to get to bed.
The one thing I would really harp on about this whole losing gains during vacation is you should have done the work all year to where you don't lose your gains during your vacation.
Exactly.
Another thing is a vacation is meant to not break habits, of course, but to get a little relaxed. If you enjoy lifting and you enjoy your exercising, then by all means do it, but you should not, I don't know, I just feel you shouldn't have to stay on your regimented schedule. Like, my stuff is very regimented. So the idea of like, okay, I got to be at the gym at this time and do this and do that is just not, it's not going to make it a relaxing thing. It's like another, I don't want to say chore, but it's another thing you have to do, and I really just want to spend my vacation hanging out with the fam. I mean,
Yeah.
trying to catch some sharks. That's what I'm gonna catch a shark by its tail. I'm telling you what. One of those sharks come close to me, I'm gonna catch it by its tail, swing it around.
Come on up here, bro. Let's do it. Let's fight some sharks in the bay. Let's do it. Fuck them. What are they gonna do?
Yeah. Well, they only got one method. If you can stay away from that mouth, you're in good shape. I mean, they don't know how to use that tail as a whip or anything. So
punch them right in the nose.
And if they're not fucking 20 feet tall or 20 feet long, they probably aren't gonna be able to eat you in one bite.
Great whites, man. Fuck them. Bring it on.
And then as far as injuries go, I think Chad said it the best. If it's an actual injury, go to the doctors, find out exactly what it is, go through your rehab, and then start hitting those weights again. Don't just continue to be hurt and watch your gains slowly dissipate because you want to you got to finish your program. Is that pretty much a good summation, Chad?
Yeah, no, it's first and foremost, if you're hurt, talk to a doctor. If you're injured, talk to a doctor. If something doesn't feel right, try an alternative exercise. There's a lot of resources out there. I mean, especially if you're one of these people like myself who avoids going to the doctor until like I have full on like pneumonia or something like that, right? I basically need to go to the hospital. I understand that I'm kind of like talking out of my ass sometimes when it comes to like, oh, go talk to the doctor. Well, try something that isn't one thing, that exercises the same, part of your body. That's my big thing. There are multiple different avenues to get to the same place.
Bran, any thoughts on the injury? What to do while injured?
Yeah, I mean, don't work the area, that you're hurt on. Do other things. Keep the blood flowing. Work legs. If your shoulders hurt, whatever. Keep the blood flowing, and then do like little rehab things.
Yeah.
With the hurt part, like moving around a little bit. Get the blood in there. Get the blood moving. Take your supplements. Take your protein. Take your BCAAs. Take your anti-inflammatory enzymes. Take your serapeptase, shit like that.
And everybody buy krill oil.
The krill hits inflammation big time. And if you can afford it, do turmeric with it.
Turmeric.
It's going to heal everything up. Take a BCA. It's going to heal up the damaged tissue. It's going to heal up damaged muscle. Trust me. Take all this shit, and you're going to heal up in no time. I'm serious. Like within days, you're going to be fine again.
And the idea of using drinking BCAAs whenever you're on vacation is actually a pretty good way to avoid losing gains, even though it's like a simple thing you can do.
Like I said, fuel for the muscle, so the muscle will not catabolize itself.
Yeah, and I'm one of those guys. I can lose 10 pounds in 3 days if I don't hit my diet right, and so. Mm-hmm. But I'm on that gain train. Protein. I'm on that gain train, so it's one of those things where, whenever you're doing that and you're overloading everything, most of it's water. I know, like the reason I lose 10 pounds in 3 days is because 7 or 8 pounds of it was water weight and food weight, but still, that's the only way you gain weight is by gaining weight. You can't just gain muscle weight without gaining the water weight. The idea is to get to 210 and then hopefully only 10 pounds of it's water weight, But, and then, is there, let's see. So we do want to say to all the Twitter people that Cecil is back from his vacation. He is not coming back to Twitter as far as I know, but he is back. We were kind of getting worried about him because he does live in a very hostile environment. So we're glad to hear he's back. we did in the last couple weeks. Liftwaffe did get a submission from Stefan Molyneux, so that was awesome. He said he submits to the Liftwaffe, so he blocked me after that, but he still,
That's a block to be proud of.
Yeah. What else? Anything big happen in Liftwaffe that you can think of, Bran, over the last couple weeks?
This show, bro.
Oh, and Carrie June month is almost over.
I'm saying we're back.
That is horrible. I'm so sad.
Now July is like the summer.
Yeah.
This is like American muscle. Let's do it.
We'll have to get Hulk Hogan.
There you go.
Mr. America.
I'm a real American. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
That's what America's all about.
Jack's got a theme. I know he does. He has a theme every month. He'll figure something out.
There you go. Hulk fucking Hogan.
We did gain. We're starting to gain a lot more members here lately. I mean, actually posting members. Like, I want to say we gained 3 last week or 4 last week.
Yeah.
To where people are posting, and I mean, usually they ask something first and then they start posting. But
there's a lot of people out there who lift.
There's a couple of them. One of them's really strong.
Right here.
I can't remember his name.
Here.
I wish I could remember his name. So shout out to that guy. Shout out to Jack, of course. He and then of course Marcus. Hopefully he's on that recovery train and he'll be back at it, making us all look like mogging us with every lift, sitting there curling 315 and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
But with that, I think we will give you a couple more minutes. Is there anything you guys want to say before we close it up?
Shout out to my friends. Shout out to Gigi in the shed. Shout out to Pepe and everyone in the chat room. Shout out to Stephanie. And shout out to everyone in the gains thread. Keep on posting, keep on lifting.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What about you, Chad? You got any words of wisdom?
Just get off the internet. Go do stuff in the real world with real people. Talk about lifting. It doesn't have to be a scary thing. So I'm the IRL stuff. That's where I'm at. Find more gym friends. It's gonna be a more wholesome life for you. So
I'm gonna take it a step further with that, and I'm a churchy. I think
there you go. Yeah, go to church.
You can get people will see. Especially because I mean, even me at 185 pounds is I'm pretty lean. Is a big guy for the church. So they will ask you questions, and the best thing to do is say, "Why don't you just come with me? Just come on, let's go." Instead of trying to explain a whole workout for them, just I'm gonna be there Monday. Why don't you just come by? Yeah. So, but yeah, the more people you can get in your circle that are worthwhile, are better, have the same ideas as you, are better. So
absolutely. Yeah.
And keep posting. Anybody that's not posting on the thread, just post. I mean, don't post that you sat around and ate ice cream. That was another thing we got on. We want posting for positive. Don't talk about how you're a fat manlet or anything like that. We don't need to hear anything on the negative side. You're short. We get it. We don't got to hear that you're a full manlet. Don't degrade yourself. There's too much degradation in the world as it is. There's no reason to degrade yourself in the gains thread. If you want to do it on your own timeline, have at it. But the gains thread is about the positivity and posting physique.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and shut her down. Hey, I haven't been typing. That's not me. But we're going to shut her down, and we will hopefully be back in 2 weeks, sometime during the weekend. We're not sure if Marcus will be back or if we will have another guest, but I believe it's still going to... Chad, you going to be on vacation those 2 weeks? Or?
In the next 2 weeks, I will be around. Next weekend is probably a no-go for me, but 2 weeks from now, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, that's what mine would... Well, actually, 2 weeks from now would be my vacation, I believe.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll do something.
Yeah.
I'm always around.
Yeah, cool. It was great that you stopped by. I really like talking to you about your... Because, I mean, I don't know if you actually work in a supplement store or what, but you seem to be very knowledgeable about it, at least. I feel like almost like you're about to give us a promo code sometimes.
Let's keep upset, bro. Upset.
But all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and shut her down, and you guys have fun, and we will see you on the next stream. Now, this is the Curling in the Squat Rack stream, sponsored by the Lift Waffle Gains thread, and goodbye.
Good night.